5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another amazing episode of Personal Development Junkies. I am Ryan S. Harvey the Great.
I am Warren Styles Harvey.
And today we are going to talk about the beautiful word of hunger and what you're actually hungry for and what you're willing to do to be fed. I can think about times when I've been extremely hungry for things that weren't good for my spirit, and how willing I was to kind of almost not even think about the repercussions or the things that might be really negative for me as a byproduct of the choice, because I was so hungry for something. Right. And it wasn't until I got older that I understood what intentional hunger is. You know what I mean? And really desiring something that really looks impossible, but not being satisfied with the small wins, but staying hungry for the thing that you desired at the start.
Yeah.
And somebody that I've watched go from painting, a little bit to painting every day, all day. How do you keep that hunger alive within yourself?
I think it's really about the connection. It's really about me doing what I love to do, like what I naturally have a connection to, and the more I feed myself that connection, that experience, I feel like the stronger the stronger that connection gets, the hunger, because the more I feed, the more I'm going to hunger for what I feed on, and so whatever I consistently do, that's what I'm going to have a hunger for, and so I think what helped me consistently feed that is really just it being my passion. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for it being something that I love to do, it will be difficult. You know what I mean? It will be difficult to get a hunger for that if it's not something that I naturally had a hunger for. I think since I was a little kid, I had a hunger for art, creating art. You know what I mean? I always said I was going to be an artist when I grew up, So I think the passion, it's the thing that you're naturally connected to, is what you naturally have a hunger for,
No, I totally agree. I think about concrete a lot, and thinking about how much hunger I had to have to go from a person that was green, that didn't know anything about concrete, and being willing to work all day and say, I know that I could get paid this money all day for the amount of time, or I could be in a position to say, just pay me for half, right? Because I know the knowledge that I'm getting, I will be able to eat off of it for the rest of my life, right? So the hunger that I introduced myself to, I was able to still feed me and my daughter off of this same hunger that was birthed when I was green. You know what I mean? And going through, like, let's say if I'm a lion or any kind of predator and I have prey, right? Learning concrete was my prey, right? And so those times when I seen what it looked like from tearing out a job to reforming it to finishing it for someone else, like I was working for someone else. I got to get trained on what it looks like to actually be hungry for a kill, right? And then not to let that kill stop the hunger, right? It continues to fuel it.
Right.
It's like a lion. Once he gets a taste of a gazelle, he doesn't say, "Well, shoot, I'm through trying to eat a gazelle." He's like, "No, that tastes good. Now, what do we need to learn in order to only hunt them or hunt them more efficiently, so we can continue to get the desired goal, right?" So not only do you have to have a hunger for, I think before we even talk about hunger, in a sense, you have to have, like you said, a real deep connection to what it is. How is this thing feeding you? The lion goes after the gazelle because it will nourish its spirit right along with its body, right? So the thing that you are hungry for, whether it be money, power, influence, freedom, whatever it may be, why do you want this thing? Right? How are you building the connection to real hunger for something by your awareness to what it will do for your life?
So you got to spend time with it.
You have to really spend time with what you are hungry for to see if you are really asking for something that is really even healthy for you. You know, you could be asking for something that might look good for somebody else, but for you it's processed. It ain't even organic no more. And so we really got to take some time. We've all had to be on that journey at some point in personal development, is looking at the sources of your hunger. It's almost like looking at what you're willing to do to acquire money, right? Like, not everything you're willing to do is going to be beneficial to the progress of being able to obtain and be able to retain money. So what were some things that you have learned from just continuing to paint? Because not every time is a person buying a painting to be fed. You know, in a sense. So how do you put yourself in a position to feed your spirit?
You know, I honestly think because art is such I have such a deep connection with it, and I've done it so long. I've surrounded myself with art. You know, it's like I've constantly like I don't want to say tease, but it was just like I was constantly building my hunger just by, you know, just looking at it, giving it attention, you know, giving attention to it. It was just slowly, it was like kind of like just slowly feeding that hunger that I was having, you know what I mean? And it really just built, I don't know, it just made me connected. It's like the more I painted, the more I took that journey within myself. And the more I took that journey, the more it connected me to it, the more it fed me, the more just the act of painting was fulfilling. The act of me just being able to finish a painting. And that's why I have so many pieces, is because I actually felt how it you know, I experienced finishing a painting, and I fed myself completion. You know what I mean? Like being able to start and finish and feeling how good it felt to be able to put it down and look at it and say, man, I just did that. You know what I mean? Doing that over and over again, it gets addictive. And it's like I'm hungry to be able to produce something else, to be able to produce nothing to something. You know, that is very gratifying. And I think me just doing that and really making that a habit, like a way of living, just like instead of just chilling and watching TV, it was painting instead. You know, let me watch something on YouTube as I paint. You know what I mean? If I want to just watch something and be entertained, let me try to do it while I'm doing my thing. You know what I mean? Like, let me just constantly feed, even just seeing art and imagining completing a piece of art, or like all those things, just like you seeing how just the process of concrete and you just from start to finish, and being able to even see that, witness that from someone else. It was like connecting yourself to it. Hunger. Yeah, because it's like,
what can I do? What do I have within me?
When you're able to see something from nothing to something,
it inspires you.
Oh, and it looks clean. It look good, and every time you look at it, it's like, ooh.
I did that. I participated in that.
That feel good. And when you can give yourself that feeling, like that feeds it. It makes you want more.
And now just think about how much we don't fuel our hunger by wanting someone else to give us that satisfaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Even thinking about, I'm in the middle of creating The Strongest Man in the Room again. You know, the workshop I was doing. All right. So me and my mentor are redoing it to make it really, really, really impactful.
Yeah.
All right. And so for a while, I wouldn't even touch it. And so he would question my hunger. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't even dabble in it at all.
Why?
It was a fear of I was too attached to my own words. And so if it was something changed, then I felt like I wasn't hungry enough to get the right words. So instead of hunting at all or learning how to hunt, I just said, I know I got the tools, but I'm gonna just sit them right here because I'm fearful, right? That goes into what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, right? But now that I realized some things about myself, i.e., spending some time with it, and spending time with myself, the more I begin to work on it, the more I've grown attached to wanting to do it even more to make it complete. Because now I can see how I'm putting myself into it, which literally births a hunger.
And that's what it's about, putting yourself into it.
Yes.
Like really, when you say what does that mean, putting yourself into it?
When I say I'm putting myself into it, I'm putting my essence, the things that I'm aligned with as a spirit. I'm putting those things in it, not my ego-based self, but my higher-based self, like what I'm truly connected to, the things that have happened to me in my life that were staples or moments in my life that I'm really connected to, that were transformational pieces. Those things I make sure to tie in. Like your art is tied into maybe some of the way you viewed some things. You know what I'm saying? For a really, really deep connection of, man, I see this is my superpower. You know what I mean? Like my speaking is my superpower. You know what I mean?
And everybody want to feel super, right?
Everybody want
to feel powerful. Yeah. And everybody has their thing. You know, and it's not the easiest thing to find always. You know, it really just takes life experiencing. You know, the universe is going to bring you back to your power because you're supposed to live this life powerfully, you know. And
wanting to be hungry to find that power out. Yeah. That's like hunger can be put into anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I don't have my purpose yet? What if I don't know? Well, what are you hungry for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you see yourself? Like, if of course people gonna say a lot of money, being free, be able to do what I want, but it's not about that, because even as you get better in life, you still have challenges to teach you things to make you better. So you're never gonna get away from that. So at what point do you say, okay, I want money, I want this, I want this, I want this. Okay, now what do you want to be the source of being able to receive those things? What do you want to do and spend your time doing?
Right.
That you become so focused and hungry for mastering this thing within yourself that those things are a byproduct of you being so willing to master the purpose.
And you got to pay attention to yourself. You got to really figure out what do you feel is calling you. What is calling you? And I feel like we know. We feel we can ignore, we can give ourselves reasons why we won't answer, but we feel that call, you know. Yeah, at least one time you feel that call, you know. And you have to, the more you pay attention and just quiet yourself and really pay attention, the more you will be shown the lane, the thing that is your power.
I think disappointment, sadness, depression, anxiety.
We actually start to have a hunger for that instead.
Yeah, and I think because we don't like feed the hunger to better ourselves, that is what we're left with.
A lot of times that's filled in our upbringings. That's filled in our childhoods. You know what I mean? Just those experiences of fear and insecurity, all those things. Really, we grow up in our ignorance. We accept things that really don't reflect our power. You know, and so we actually begin to have a hunger for those very things, because whatever we are feeding ourselves consciously or unconsciously, we will then have a hunger for it, and our bodies will seek that out.
Facts.
It don't even have to be your mind. Your mind,
shortcuts.
Your body is gonna feed you what you hunger for.
Physical attraction, attention.
Yep. Yeah. And you're going to do what it takes.
Complacent. You can
Yep.
be hungry for complacency.
Yep.
You can be hungry for you time and
And you will feed yourself.
and life will give you
You will feed yourself,
opportunity
man.
to feed yourself
Yep.
the very thing you're hungry for.
Yep. Yep. See, the thing is, it seems like a negative thing when you don't choose. It's like that, like we have to
When you don't
consciously.
choose, it
yes.
will be negative.
Yeah, yeah. Because this world is set up to inspire you to feel negatively about yourself, to not love yourself, to not believe in yourself, like the system.
To not spend time with yourself.
Right, because they want to
Not spend time with yourself
it's
at all.
distraction
Everything
after
is about
distraction,
entertainment.
pull you away from yourself, pull
Everything
you
is
away
about
from your
entertainment.
power. But this, I'm telling you, I feel like the thing is, when you connect to your power, it actually allows you, it offers you to take a journey. You know what I mean? Because when you realize your power, it was offering you a journey. And in that journey, you are actually now positioning yourself to receive all that is already inside you.
Right.
But it's that superpower in the saying yes to it. The journey is what actually allows you to open yourself up to what is already there inside of you. It's like, so when you go towards what you feel is calling you, then you are you're saying yes to your power. And then the more you do that, the more you are going to experience more of God.
Facts. I think there's two different types of hunger.
Yeah.
You got, and these are just metaphors, but these are two different types of hunger. You got the hunger of when you're absolutely starving, right? Everything stops.
For sure. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
No.
When you are absolutely starving, nothing else matters.
That can be painful too. That type of hunger. It's like, yo, I need
to
nothing
eat, right?
else
But it's
matters.
also bad because you're down to eat anything.
So you got to make sure. Oh man.
And then the other one is I'm hungry for a specific thing. I got a taste for this.
Yeah.
And nothing else will really like quench me unless I get this. Like I have a taste for like catfish and spaghetti.
Shout out to those two.
Shout out to those two. But I got a taste for that, and I don't want red beans and rice. I don't want meatloaf. I don't want cheeseburgers. I don't want to get distracted by no pizza. All I want is my catfish and spaghetti. That is the only thing that's going to quench my hunger.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What got you to a point where that's all you want? What made you say, I don't want nothing else but that? Like, how did you get to that point?
When I tried out so many other foods, and when I finally found the catfish and spaghetti, I said, nothing else tastes like this. Now, I've tried burgers, right? I've tried concrete, like it's cool, right? It'll get me through, but it don't give me that gut feeling of a yes, right? If I eat a cheeseburger, I'm like, oh my God, this has come from a cow. This really ain't that healthy. Really ain't good for me. I might get high blood pressure, just as a metaphor. I'm thinking of the ways that it's not good for me, right? But if I'm thinking about the thing that I know, as soon as I eat it, like I'm going to feel good instantly. It's going to be the things that are naturally something that I desire and want for me, that the inside of me is calling out for, that is literally coming out my taste buds like I want that specifically. My gut is screaming for that specifically. It is hungry for that. We ain't got to try out Popeyes, Wendy's, McDonald's. We ain't got to try. I know what I want, and I want something home cooked, made from scratch. Not just starving for just anything. And most of us we'll wait and be ignoring the things that might be good for us, and we'll get to a point where we're absolutely starving. We like. Now, what you're starving for is totally up to you. But we get to a point where we absolutely are starving, bro. And whatever is around, as long as it's trying to feed me, I'm down with it. Right? But we are asking for people to get to a point where you become choosy. You become picky about what you choose to be hungry for. Like, I ain't trying to be hungry for nothing else but this. Like, I'm trying to be hungry for bettering myself, before I even worry about purpose, I am so hungry for just simply bettering myself. What ways and what areas of my life can I get more hungry, that I've been a little bit more lax and kind of anorexic in a sense? In what ways can I feed a part of me that was a little skinny that needs to be built up? In what ways can I kind of subtract some food from some parts of me that needs to be kind of weakened a little bit? Not even weakened, but healthened in a sense. We need to work that spot out instead of just letting it be.
Yeah.
So what are some things, before we end the show, my brother, what are some things that you feel people can do to strengthen their hunger?
It's really figure out what you want, what's important, what's really important. Like, beyond all the surface things, all the material things, what do you want to experience in this lifetime? Like, and with that, I feel like that connecting to that lets you know what you need to have a hunger for, and then from that you need to feed yourself stillness, feed yourself words that align with what you are, what you want. You have to speak life into that. You have to allow yourself to see certain things, read certain things that just heightens that curiosity, that heightens that just experience, because you want to experience it in any way you can, in your mind, in your body. You want to see it, you want to hear it, you want to, because you're just connecting yourself more and more to that. And the more you do that, you will start to have a strong desire to feed that hunger. So you have to make sure you are actually, the small little snacks, really make sure the daily snacks are things that are aligned with what you say you want. And the more you snack on those things daily, the more you will actually start to hunger meals like dinner. You know what I mean? Of those things that, you know what I mean? You will start to desire those things and hunger for those things, because you're like teasing yourself. You're getting yourself little this, little that. And the more you do it, man, but it's a journey. So when you're moving forward, it doesn't even kind of look like you moving forward. When you are connecting to that hunger, sometimes it doesn't even seem like you are, because sometimes it appears one way, but it's all this other stuff happening beyond, below. So just trust that even when things doesn't feel, if you continue to snack on the things that you say you want, you are feeding that, you are building that, and that hunger is going to be so powerful that you're going to have to be fed, and it's going to be those things that you desire. So you're going to feed on the things that's going to give you the life that you desire. And I feel like that's the goal.
That's the best things to eat.
Yeah. So what you snacking on? Because what you snacking on is building your hunger.
That's a fact. You can eat peanuts or you can eat some candy.
Yep. If you do that for a week,
keep you going.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a time where, oh my God, you sweating a whole bunch, like all of the nutrients is out of your body, and somebody say drink pickle juice?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I need for people to be hungry for the pickle juice in their life. Like, I need you to be hungry to meet you for the first time. Like, be hungry to find out what you love, what makes you tick, what makes you sing, what makes you dance, what makes you feel like you can fly. You should be hungry to find those things out, and when you do, you should be hungry to master those things. And after that, you should be hungry to live and inspire other people to do the same. God is great, but so are y'all.
Yeah, boom shakalaka, y'all. Peace and love.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh.